laughed at him. They saw only a man with heavy buckets and a humble station, a poor man carrying water across the dusty streets of the city, day after day, year after year. But Allah sees what people ignore. In the heat of the Abbasid sun, his labor was constant and his clothes were marked by the dust of the road. His only companion was the weight he carried and the constant dicker on his tongue. The merchants, surrounded by their spices and gold, looked down from their high seats as if the world belonged to them alone. "You will die poor carrying water," they would shout, their hearts filled with the pride of dunya. He never answered insults, because his heart was attached to something far greater than their opinions. While they chased the fleeting shadows of wealth, he was building a mansion in the shade of the throne. Every drop he delivered was a testimony of his patience and a brick in his eternal home. As the sun dipped below the horizon, the mockery of the day faded into the stillness of the evening. But when the city slept and the merchants rested, another journey began for the carrier. No one knew that every night he spent most of his earnings feeding hungry families in the shadows. The widows and the orphans woke to find sustenance they could not explain, assuming it was a mercy from the heavens. He sought no thanks from men. His trade was with the King of Kings and his records were kept in the heavens. Sincerity is a secret between the slave and his master. No angel writes it and no devil corrupts it. He lived for the one who knows what is in the hearts, while others lived for the one who only sees the surfaces. And then, Allah tested the city, a test that stripped away the illusions of dunya. The wells went dry, the rivers slowed to a trickle. The lush gardens of the wealthy turned to brittle dust. Gold could not buy a single drop of rain. The silk was useless against the burning thirst of their children. Panic echoed through the streets. They looked for a savior in the palaces, but the palaces were as dry as the streets. But while they were distracted by the world in days of ease, he had been preparing for the day of hardship. For years, he had saved water, little by little, in a place no one expected. Preparing for a day no one wanted to see. Preparing for a day no one wanted to see. He had anticipated the need of the creation while they enjoyed the luxuries of the self. He returned not as a beggar seeking coins, but as the one who held the very lifeblood of the city in his hands. The man they mocked became the reason their children survived. Their laughter turned into silent awe. There was no hierarchy in thirst. In the face of survival, the gold was as light as the sand beneath their feet. He served the ones who insulted him with the same mercy he served the ones he loved. True adab in the face of pride. Sincerity does not demand an apology before it offers help. It only seeks the pleasure of the Creator. The city began to breathe again. The fear that had gripped every heart was replaced by a profound realization. The water carrier did not ask for a throne. He did not seek their praise, but the city gave him their hearts. True respect is not bought with gold or titles, but earned through silent service to Allah's creation. Never underestimate a servant of Allah, the quiet ones, the sincere ones, the ones who do not speak of their deeds, the ones nobody notices until the world falls apart, and then they are the only ones left standing. Because sincerity with Allah can raise a person higher than wealth ever could. His heart was already in Jannah. His name was written in the stars long before it was spoken in the streets. His legacy was not in gold, but in water. He walked with the earth, but his heart was already home. A stranger in dunya, but known to the heavens. Remember, Allah sees every hidden good deed, and He is the best of those who reward. The burn-in text is already in the image. Sif final logo animation.